Okay, so we got DJ in here getting some more soft tissue work done. And we got Keats, of course, working the magic. Keats, what do you think not even if, but for sprinters particularly, what is the most important part as far as what do you think they need to have worked on?
For soft tissue work?
Yeah, sprinters in particular.
Wow.
Is there one place, or is it basically the whole body thing?
Well, your whole body is involved in sprinting. Your whole body is involved in any kind of, full body activity like running. But most of the power that you're a sprinter, it comes from your hips.
Mm-hmm.
So the highest power outputs are coming from the hip joint.
Mm-hmm.
So every muscle that attaches pretty much to the pelvis and the hip is going to, obviously, that's going to be my number one priority. But you hit the ground with your feet, and your lower legs absorb a lot of that, so you got to take a look at the lower legs as well, because that's where all that shock goes through. But the main muscles that I'm going to focus on is going to be the hip flexors, the quads, the glutes, the hammies, and even some of the trunk muscles, the abdominals and obliques, and like the low back is going to get a pretty big piece in sprinting. So I'm always going to say, man, if I'm pressed for time, I'm getting the hips, I'm getting the thighs, and then I'm doing a little bit of work at least on the lower leg, because that lower leg takes a beating.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
In those feet and toes.
Now, would you say the same thing would apply to somebody who does another explosive sport, like, say, basketball?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Any sport where you have to run or jump or sprint, soccer, volleyball, all that power comes from your hip joint. So it's your pelvic girdle. Like if your pelvic girdle is really, if those tissues are not healthy, the joints are compressed, you're not going to perform well.
Okay.
So it's pretty much anything I can get that area to function better, because that's your engine, that's your motor. That's where all that stuff comes from. But it's not to say the arms, and then obviously you use your shoulders a lot in sprinting too. I definitely do like to do some work on the neck. And like packs and lats, because that's the driver from the top. So I would say your shoulders are more involved in sprinting than your ankle joint in terms of creating the force. Obviously, you don't run on your hands, so you can have messed up hands and still sprint. You've got messed up feet, it's going to be hard to sprint or messed up calves and Achilles. But that shoulder girdle is really important to have that mobility to drive that arm back. And a lot of people are tight, especially guys who do a lot of bench press and things like that, up here. So if you're limited in getting your ability to stretch out that chest and shoulder, it's going to limit your leg. Because your shoulder and your hips kind of reciprocate each other. Yeah. So if you're limited here, it's going to shorten your stride up. So I guess we're kind of coming to the answer that it's all important. But yeah, hips first, some shoulder girdle work. You can relax the neck and the trap. You don't want to run. If you're running really shrugged up, you're going to totally, your whole stride is going to
you see that a lot.
It's going to get terrible. So being relaxed up in the face, neck, and shoulders is key. But the main power source is going to be from here to here on both sides, 360 degrees around. So especially your glutes, your hamstrings, your lower back, and then you've got your hip flexors and your quads driving on the way up. So that would be my long-winded answer to a short question.
Sounds good to me.